Okay, this is yet another little brief spiel about something or other that just came into my noggin. It's basically just how many ways we can get stuck on this path, just hanging out in different areas that seem to be really like a comfort zone, or they seem a lot better than, just being a sloppy old ego in the world, not knowing what's going on and just being on autopilot. So as soon as we started with spirituality, we're actually looking in a way that it's not that we're consciously doing it, but the ego just wants to kind of feel a little bit better about itself, or feel a little better about life, or to have some sort of relief from its self-imposed suffering. So we kind of compromise ourselves in a way. We say, okay, well, I feel a little bit better now, I'm kind of in a good place egoically or whatever, or maybe I'm enlightened, maybe it even says that, or I'm enlightened enough or something. It makes some sort of final statement and sticks, tries to just stay there, I'll stay here, even though I don't feel like the love and the joy and the real perfume of reality isn't really being followed back to its source, and isn't really being enjoyed in its fullness. It's more a sense of good enough, like when you're in school or something. It's like, oh, I got a 75, I could probably, get 95, but this is good enough. It's good enough just to stay here and hang out, and, it's fine. And I think that's, like, for me, that's been a huge issue, kind of, in terms of the I, in terms of the egoic self, just wanting to hang out, wanting to just camp out in a safer place. Not that it's really ultimately safe, because the very structure of the ego, just fears for its annihilation all the time anyway. Fears that it's gonna happen, in the next moment, or in this moment, or whatever. So there's a sense of that. There's a sense of like, well, it's a little bit better. I'm still scared. I'm still kind of depressed. Life isn't that great, but it's a little better, and just stuff like that. And just taking that I to be so real that we can just kind of buy into whatever compromising statements it's making. And basically what happened for me was there's something undeniable going on underneath all of the I, or no I, or all of that kind of surface level story and stuff that is so easy to get wrapped up in. There's something very simple going on, which is just this, it's like this whisper, it's like a silent whisper that's just calling something to itself. And then the I says, oh, okay, I'll answer that call. I'll meditate 10 hours today, which I've done. Thinking that by doing that, it's me getting closer to that source, the true loving source, calling out to its, it's all of itself, all of its aspects or whatever. But then as soon as we're stuck in ego land, it's kind of like, I kind of want that. Sure, we play with it. We say, well, maybe I'm afraid of it today. I'm afraid of what might happen if I really fall into that, if I really go into the source of that and really answer that call, in a very childlike and innocent way. Or maybe the next day it says, yeah, I want that, and I'm going to do what it takes to get there. I'm going to do whatever I can do to get there because I want it. So there's kind of that interplay that goes on. And because staying in that zone, staying in ego land is so exhausting, we try to make it a little better because we don't really believe we can, this is just for me anyway, I didn't really believe I could really truly rest, with my creator, with, love itself, essentially. I didn't think I could be there. I didn't think I could be here. I thought I had to indulge in, various fantasies about different attainments and different experiences that seem to be adding up to something. It's like, oh, this concept's gone, which means I'm getting closer, and this concept's gone. I'm almost there now, I can taste it, this concept's gone. And just that kind of, that obsessional quality of wanting to make something it. I want to make one of these experiences and one of these conceptual frameworks the ultimate. And that's sort of that sense of superimposing a judgment on reality. The ultimate thing, the ultimate state. And then we don't listen to the childlike nature. We don't really come back to that innocence that's running. It's not even running, it's just there. It's just loving. It's just innocently present. That nature of childlike wonder and love, and just the security of it, because we know that there's no other, there's no chasm to cross, there's no bridge that we need to trek across towards the other shore, the other side or something. It's all right here. So I guess that's just the encouragement, is to really just fall into that, really just drop it, drop the whole thing and be in that simplicity, instead of jumping back into any sort of conceptual framework, no matter how plausible it may seem, no matter how true it sounds on the surface, or even even if it seems like a deep understanding or a profound wisdom, or the ultimate type thing. I don't know. It's just this intensity. There's some kind of like a quiet sort of intensity that just doesn't let us get away with anything. The truth doesn't let us get away with indulging in our lies. It's loving. It's lovingly revealing how we deceive ourselves and leaving nothing behind, and just clearing out all of our little hooks, and we just have to cooperate. That's all. As kids we're always told, just get with the program, just cooperate, but of course that comes from wanting to control, and this is just love. It's just unconditional love that doesn't want to see any aspect of itself suffer, so it calls out, it calls itself out somehow. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's just a matter of being, and there's no matter in both sense of the word. Thank you.